There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. Damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall. Praying that this night's gonna last. You got it all on tap, I'm loving your vibe, always have your back. We like all the same tracks, listen all night in the sheets all black. Said I'm falling fast, don't remember life before you, that's fast. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall. There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. Damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall. Praying that this night's gonna last. You got it all on tap, I'm loving your vibe, always have your back. We like all the same tracks, listen all night in the sheets all black. Said I'm falling fast, don't remember life before you, that's fast. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall. There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and miss.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you at. What's up, Nene, baby? What's up, Summer Breeze? What's up, Larry? My name is Larry. But yeah, I know that this is our coffee time. But we've seen the interview that they did with Fox, and I think somebody came on my comments. I was gonna. Aaron did a video. I didn't see it because I did be just as surprised as you. But they brought to my attention. Well, he's doing Listen, I say he shouldn't do it by himself. Maybe I don't listen to me. Nobody don't have to do anything. He's doing it on his own. I just said that it should not be just only him out the men. Please listen carefully before you leave comments. Thank you, Carmen. Anything that anybody want to do, if they feel like it. It's not like yay for him and nay for them. It's whomever. It's whomever. Okay? Okay. What's up, my replay gang? Good to see you too. It looks like all the other days was nice, but this today don't look so good over here. Hopefully it doesn't rain, right? But we're just saying that with the momentum that they're trying to get and the narration that they're doing, yes, we know. I think that if we called it all this time, we know that they're still under pressure. We know they're still being controlled. We know these things, but we also know while they're still under control, they are doing things and they are setting up a false narrative to pick up traction. We have to let it both sides be speaking. Yeah, we could do it. We've been doing we've been doing it for a long time. Yes. And some of our outbreaks because we do care, right? If we didn't care, we wouldn't be like, oh, send this one home. Or where's she at? How many times we as the people said, where's she at? Where he at? Why we didn't see such and such? How is such and such doing? We better see such and such on this camera, right? So I think a lot of people will cover it. I don't believe it's out of hatred or whatever. It's just that hey, we have somehow been covering and we don't want nothing to happen to nobody, but that doesn't mean that long as they're still under his control, we want them to leave, but they have not left yet. So until they leave, they're going to do what he says. That's a problem. That would be a problem. But we have to keep up. We can't let that narrative, especially Mr. Hughes, Mr. Brandon Hughes, and people just thinking, oh, he down with Nature Boy. No, he got more mouth since Pastor P been in the hospital too. He in his mind, he got Pastor P out. That's not we ain't gonna never forget Pastor P. No, we're not. He done got Pastor P from Bigo. Yeah, I don't know, from Bigo. He figured, okay, I ain't got to worry about him, and he's still going strong. Even though that man in the hospital, people still talking about Pastor P. People still make a commentary about Pastor P. And they all now able to say whatever they want to say, just like Nature Nut. They all able to say what they wanted to say, but nobody wins there but Brandon Keys. He wasn't over Pastor P, nor was he over Nature Nut. He wasn't over neither one. He was trying to get in where he fit in. Now all of a sudden he's some manager. Whatever, man. Whatever, whatever. Don't worry, we're getting ready to start this because I would like to hear. Don't forget, Aaron has a channel. Aaron has a channel, and this is from Aaron's channel. But I want to hear what he has to say about emotional equity. Right? He has a channel. His channel is named Aaron Dixon. He will be at 1,000 subscribers soon, but if you want to subscribe to get him there, he only needs like 75, right? He only needs like 75. Get going over there, support him if you want to support him. But this is from Aaron Dixon's channel, as you see. I'm sorry I ain't putting in the title, but I'll give you the biggest shout. I'll be forgetting. I'm telling you, I'll be forgetting. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all, but I still gonna give it. Anytime I use somebody's video, I'm gonna always give you a shout out and send people over there. Okay? If they watch the video, rewind it. I'll show you. This is the better way, showing you how where is that, where to look for. Now let's go.
Hey, what's going on, Coco? Okay, so great. That's how you see the. Definitely appreciate that, Coco. Appreciate that. If at any time it sounds too loud or you guys hear any static or any disturbing background noise, let me know. How are you guys doing tonight, though? How y'all doing tonight?
Mm, tight.
Thank you for joining because your feedback is both necessary and appreciated. Got you, Coco. Got you. I stay up pretty late on a regular basis. And we'll get started right at 9 o'clock as advertised. Skies, warm days, being able to eat when I want to eat, being able to go to sleep. Every day I wake up and I'm not in carbonation is automatically a good day. Going through that experience has allowed me to
What's up,
expand my
B?
gratitude beyond the level that I feel the average person operates in.
What's up,
So I
B?
appreciate small things that I would imagine often go overlooked, like clear skies, warm days, being able to eat when I want to eat, being able to go to sleep when I want to go to sleep, being able to go live when I want
Yeah.
to go live and talk about what I want to talk about and not have to operate out of a script or try to defend somebody else's image. I could go on and on and on about the things that I'm grateful for and the things that make every day a great day. It's really hard for me to have a bad day coming from that experience. So, exactly, Lynette. I think that our lives can only be as good as we feel. And I think that every day we have is largely dependent upon our outlook rather than the events or the circumstances that occur in the day. I mean, a simple day that someone would consider, like you said, a regular day means a lot to me coming from that environment and coming out of that experience. So it just turned over to 9 o'clock. And so let's get started. As the title suggests, the theme of the conversation is going to be emotional equity. And I heard this concept first from Mr. Rick Allen Ross when he gave his testimony a few days ago. And it explains a lot as to why cult members continue to stay even though things are collapsing right in front of their face. And so
Hey,
emotional
Jack.
equity is not a concept that is relative to cults. The average person who has been in some type of relationship knows what it's like to be emotionally invested into a person. A lot of people stay in marriages that are no longer satisfying, or partnerships, whatever, because they've emotionally invested into it. They might have had children, they might have gotten married, they might have bought a house together, might have joint bank accounts, but in some form or another, there's an emotional investment into this person. And it's not just as simple as walking away. Usually,
Yeah, when you put money in that bank, when you keep putting money in the bank, people want a return. People want a return. But I will say that part is true. But they always skip the Prince Charming phrase where that is where you get the emotions, right? And for a lot of people, they think that person is going to come back, right? That person is in there somewhere. So where they got the emotion from, remember, I have to do commentary, right? I got to do commentary. So don't be like, no, you got to do commentary. So I'm just going to add in some parts in the beginning, right? How do you get to the emotional part before you get the emotional equity, right? So the emotional part will come in the beginning. Like somebody either make promises to you, they lie. What is all a lie, right? But all the lies that you are fed, because the lie is so sweet, right? So it's a bunch of lies with a mask. You have a mask, even if you're a cult leader or whatever, everybody has a mask. You're so nothing but lies. And the lies come with fake actions, right? Fake actions. So if I'm lying and you're telling you are the best, or you're gonna get this job promotion, right? That could be made for me to make you work harder, but I know I'm not gonna give you the job promotion, right? And then you do look like I'll do little things to make you think so, right? So now you're gonna keep on doing the best that you can do, right? So it's the lies that bringing a woman flowers, knowing that you don't even care. But let me bring her some flowers. Let me act like I'm there for her or him, whichever, whomever it go. Everything swings both ways. So then, when that mask come off, it's like, what the heck? So now I'm supposed to, the person I'm supposed to get the job promotion to. If anybody else come in, they're mad at them because they're like, I deserve this, and they figure, well, let me work harder. Let me work harder and sabotage them, right? But for the emotional part to come in, you have to believe the lies, basically. Prince Charming. So that's what you can't you don't get emotional with somebody if they treat you bad in the beginning. You have to believe the lies, right? And you have to ask yourself the question, what made me believe the lies? Or what made me let my guard down so fast, right? Let me know why didn't I step back and see what the heck is going on here? The honey pot. Yes. Yes. Oh, Fundi is doing a think tank. I would definitely be at that think tank. Is the think tank going to be on your channel? I think I saw it, but I would definitely be there. The mind hack like this. The what's my favorite word that she say? The whoops. God dang it, what is the name, fool? My favorite thing with the whips. It's not a whip, but it's something like a whip. Okay. All right. Something she used to say. It's not like it's like a whip, but it's not a whip. Yeah, whipsaw. Woo, cha cha cha, watcha, watcha. You got to bring that word back, girl. You got to bring that word back. You got to bring that word back. You got to go on back, girl. You got all them gems. You got so many gems, fool. You got mad gems. You have to go back in your pocket. Go back in your pocket. Because remember, you done did it already, but we got a lot of new people. A lot of new people. They don't know about whipsaw. We older folks does, but you got so many daggone jewels. You have to bring back some of them old teachings, girl. I mean, they're new. They're gonna be new to a lot of people. But I miss them. Cause boy, she be she come up with them words. Yes, I support my sister. Yes, I do. Right. So, she gonna some of her old terms, her old. Some are not her old because it exists today. You just wasn't there when she first said it. It's not old. It's just it still exists. She just gotta say it again for the new ears. The new ears. Because it would be new to them. But it's never old. Because it exists and it has meaning today. And I'm gonna definitely be in that think tank, girl. Definitely, 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 definitely. I had another video. I used to when I used to do this, have videos for you guys, like from doctors or whatever, because I've been doing this, studying this for a very, very long time. And even without studying it, even if you never studied it a day in your life, if you are observant, even as a kid, you knew what these things was, but you just didn't have a name for it, right? We called them mean. We called them a lot of names, but we just did not have a name for it, right? Because it's like even though they go to school and they get paid the big bucks, these doctors, but we already gave them all the terms like isolation, right? They didn't teach us isolation. We've seen it ourselves, even when we was young, right? All the terms, we just didn't have a name for it, right? It's a shame these doctors get credit for this because they just came up with a name, right? Maybe we should have came up with it. That's why people be laughing when I make up my own names. Nah, you need to make up your own names for terms because everybody else do. These things, these actions from these narcissistic people / sociopathic people been out for a while. And even when we was young, we was like, they're taking them away from being a friend. Oh, they need that supply. Oh, I saw like my uncle or dad. I seen their eyes turn like really black. Like 1 minute, this has been going on. But we got to stop thinking that they would change or they would get better. Well, let's carry on with this. Thank you. Thank you. Well said. That's what I'm saying. We should have put our own names there. We should have put our own names there. So if you start seeing certain patterns, just like Fooney got whipsaw. Whoosh. Well, let's get back into this because let's see what he's talking about. But yes, I got to do commentary. And no, I will not be playing the whole video. So if you want to see the whole video, you're going to have to go over there. But tonight will be good.
When people get divorced or when people break up or when people terminate any type of relationship, it's not an instantaneous decision. A lot of things are considered because just like gambling, it's very hard for somebody to get up from the table when they've put so much in it. So you'll see people, be married for 20 years and then all of a sudden they get a divorce and you're like, wait a minute, how did y'all get a divorce after 20 years? Well, the thing you don't realize is that the relationship was over 10 years ago, but it took 10 years to make the decision to leave. And so the concept is accepted and understood as it pertains to a marriage, but people are often taken back by why cult members stay. Even though the dynamics are different, the root is the same. And so I examine the current cult members. Now, don't get me wrong, my perspective is just that. I have a perspective just like you have a perspective. I don't consider myself an expert. Gotcha, Lynette. I don't consider myself an expert or anything like that. I just want to share my perspective. If you agree, you agree. If you don't, then you don't. That's fine. But when I look at the current cult members and I think about the emotional investment and the emotional equity that they have put into carbonation, it is totally understandable why they're there, even though it may not make sense to the average person. And the person I would like to start with tonight is Jax,
Oh gosh.
whose actual name is Edgar Bright. But we know that when someone is a part of a cult,
You
they
never
have to
count
relinquish
your money.
their government name because it.
You never count your money by sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal is done. You got to do. That's right. Tell them, baby. You got to do it whole. Know when to fold. Know when to walk away. You never count your money by sitting by the table. I'm gonna do me a country. I'm gonna do me a country album. I'm gonna do me a country album. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But see, I think sometimes you can see the perspective, but again, when you're on the outside, you can't see the perspective, but you can see the perspective. But we're gonna hear, of course, we're gonna hear him out because he sees a perspective we don't see, and we see a perspective he don't see. Same way I knew since day one, I said Aaron gonna be the one to talk. I got videos that prove it, and I will find them. If you go on to bed, you better know your options. Booney got me singing early in this damn morning. She got me singing early in the damn morning. But I said from the beginning too, I didn't want to be the last woman standing, and I don't know why. I don't know what done happened in her life, but she want to be the last woman standing, right? Mm-hmm. 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 And and Fufu, she just wants some notoriety, right? She just wants some notoriety. And Malaya, she just want for whatever happened in her life, whatever. I know what I feel, and usually what I have said have came to par so far, right? She has to let go whatever guilt she has in her. She has to let it go. She needs help really bad. And they know this. Grand Rising. Oh, we got a long day. We got a long day. We got a long day, my y'all. It's always good to see you, beautiful. Everybody got all good jobs and stuff. Uh-huh. 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 Mm-hmm. Always good to see you and know that you guys are doing fine. It's this thing that life happens. So it's good when my babies pop up in here just to let us know you're doing fine. But life happens. Yep. So yeah, I used to do coffee runs, but my coffee runs, boy, that's why I had to get my son ready for school. He's older now. Had the scarf on my head, the coffee in my hand. That's why it's called a coffee run, right? Did I finish? Where's my coffee at? Yep, my coffee. Mm-hmm. So whatever guilt that she have had, whatever guilt she have had, and now that she have, It's like she's always doing things because she feel she needs to be punished. And they take advantage of that and they punish her, right? She doesn't know what it felt like not to be punished. That is all she knew. That feeling of punishment. Hey, good morning, Cancer. That feeling of wanting to be punished came before she went to carbonation. That came with her, right? I don't know if she seen them being punished all the time and say, hey, you know, and then he souped her up, talking about she was going to be queen. And I wish somebody will come on over here.
It is considered a straw man. It is considered a lower self identity. So, in order to enter your quote unquote higher self, you must discard your name. But even though they have to discard that name, one thing you can't discard, or one thing that is very difficult to discard, is all of your memories and all of the years that you actually use that name. So when we think about Jax, right?
Mm-mm.
Jax is fairly new.
We don't think about him.
Um, he wasn't in carbonation long before Eligio Bishop was arrested. And a lot of people may be wondering, what is Jack's motive? why, why is he going so hard? And once again, this is my perspective. It is not the absolute divine truth. This is just my perspective as to why I believe he's so emotionally invested and continues to stay. A lot of people don't know Jax joined Carbonation in Puerto Rico. Not only that, Jax donated a large sum of money to Carbonation. And by large sum of money,
Mm-hmm.
Jax came to Carbonation and donated $20,000. Not $20, not a dub, not $200, not $2,000, but $20,000. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if you invest $20,000 into something, you are going to want to see that thing through. If some of us, if we donate $200, hey, hey, man, remember the $200? If we give $200, we coming back next week like, hey, what going on with the $200? Hey, you got no $200, my boy? So that's something that a lot of people don't know pertaining to Jackson's story. One thing I don't know is where he got that much money from. I have no idea. But when you're in a cult and you hear $20,000, you don't care. The only thing you know is that we are now up. So that is one of the reasons I believe, exactly, Lynette, that is one of the reasons why I believe Jax continues to remain in carbonation, because he's looking for a return on his investment, just like anyone else. Now, Coco, I don't know. That's a possibility, but I do not know. It was around that time, and that could be a possibility, but I cannot confirm or deny that. Additionally, we also know that unfortunately, Jax was selected to be in the um, pornographic video with the transsexual. And for those of you who may not understand the details of that situation, I can speak on what I know and what I've seen because I was present. We are now up. So that is one of the reasons I believe, exactly, Lynette. That is one of the reasons why I believe Jax continues to remain in carbonation, because he's looking for a return on his investment, just like anyone else. Now, Coco, I don't know. That's a possibility, but I do not know. It was around that time, and that could be a possibility, but I cannot confirm or deny that. Additionally, we also know that unfortunately, Jax was selected to be in the um, pornographic video with the transsexual. And for those of you who may not understand the details of that situation, I can speak on what I know and what I've seen because I was present for what happened prior to that video being recorded. One day, Mr. Bishop told us that the transsexual was coming over. And when the transsexual arrived, I went outside and escorted her in. When we were inside, Mr. Bishop had all of us line up. And the transsexual, I don't know his or her name. I don't know what pronouns to use because it's confusing. But he had us line up, and the transsexual, of course, picked 3 guys because, he was
Not this one, not this one. But
completely
it's gonna be a long
consumed and
day.
immersed in the number 3.
It's gonna be a long day, but
So
not this
the
video.
transsexual selected Dalen, Courtney, and Edgar, or Musa, Solar, and Jax. So one thing I do not know is if that selection was made prior to her arriving or if it was completely random. I do not know. But after that, the rest of the guys who were not picked, we were excused and went on about our normal daily affairs. And the 3 guys who were chosen were taken upstairs. Now, I did not know that such a video was recorded until I left the cult. I did not know that they recorded that video at all until after I left. And I believe that that is another reason why Jax continues to remain in carbonation, is because he believes possibly that his image and that his reputation is destroyed because of that video, and he feels like the damage is irreversible. And so he continues to proclaim this narrative that it is enlightened, and it is the mark of someone who is enlightened to engage in that type of activity. And thirdly, I believe that Jax remains in carbonation because he feels as if he has outperformed people he at one time looked up to.
No, he didn't.
I feel like he considers himself more of a loyal disciple
Mm-mm,
and capable disciple
mm-mm. He feel that way, but
because I'm no longer there,
mm-mm,
and Courtney is no longer there,
mm-mm,
and
mm-mm.
Dalen is no longer there, because we were the, quote unquote,
The A
highest
team.
ranking people there. And so now Jax, along with Giuliano, feel as if they now have a position to fill
Exactly.
and that they have something to prove.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
And Giuliano,
Little baby, little man, little teeth, little teeth.
I believe the reason he remains in carbonation is because, and I don't know this, I don't know what his relationship was like with his biological father, but I believe he looks at Mr. Bishop as somewhat of a more fitting father figure who has said things to him that he has always wanted to hear
Like what?
and has allowed him to have a purpose that he's always wanted.
Like what?
That's one of the reasons I believe Juju remains. Like I said, this is just a perspective and this is just my opinion. I don't know what his relationship is like with his biological father, but I believe that that is one of the driving forces that keeps Juju there.
Mm.
Also, from my understanding, Chicago is not one of the most sought after places to live. And Juju, I've heard him say that he's from out west. I don't know what that means. I've heard about the south side of Chicago and things like that.
Ooh.
I've never been. I don't know the culture. I don't know the dynamics. But I have heard Giuliano say that he was from out west. What does that mean? I don't know.
Yeah, but shoot, that's like jumping from the hot water to the frying pan, from the frying pan to the hot water. That's like jumping from the hot pan to the hot water. The thing is, they were jealous of you guys, right? Because they always said, and we even heard Lord, you said, oh, but the 18, the 18, the 18. So everybody was complaining about the 18, right? So now they get a chance to be the 18 because he has made them promises. Again, he has made them promises, right? He done dogged y'all out. He done dogged y'all out and made them feel a purpose. Like, yeah, y'all gonna be better than them. Yeah, I didn't like them anyway, right? I mean, remember, this is how they sound. They're still in the cult. So of course, now they're out the cult. They were privacy, but this is what's happening while they're still in the cult, right? So the whole time he was locked up, or as soon as he got locked up and he seen who left, now it's you're the new 18. Matter of fact, you're way better than them. Now we all know, mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. So I see poor little Juju go, poor little Juju go hard, boy. He going hard. Keep learning them lessons. Mm-hmm. And then they gassing him up. They gassing my boy up. They gassing him up. So it's like, well, we already said that a long time ago. They wanted to. They. I don't know who Jax is. Jack, maybe it's crazy. Jax is supposed to take on over Musa / Damon's position. Juju is for because he's figuring he's really smart too, but in their minds, in their minds, or in Nature Boy's mind, this is what he's telling them, right? He can't one more didn't stay. He can't find an Aaron yet, right? He done found the want to be or wanna be / Musa, because we speaking upon cult term, that would be the cult name. And then he done found a wannabe Solar, right? He ain't got a true yet. Maybe that true would be Aaron Keys, right? Hey, Nick, what's up? Love you too. Yes, darling. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. So, as you think about it, you know what they're saying and what they're conversating with nature. Now, there's two different things, right? Remember, that's what you call future fronting, right? Future faking. Future faking. Girls, please learn that term. Future faking. Look it up. Future faking. It's a term that they use to make you think, oh, things gonna get better. I'm gonna be a star. I'm gonna be a movie star. Yes. And they not trying or doing, but they out the house and they making you think they're working, they're in the studio, or they going to school, they're gonna be an architect, whatever. But them are all lies to make you think of the future with them. So wherever they at, they don't want you to think of where they are at. They don't want you to say, hey, I'm hungry. Hey, the bills ain't paid, right? Even though you know the bills need to be paid and you're hungry, there's no food in the refrigerator, things are going so bad. But if I future fake you enough, you're going to probably find a way to do it because your mind is in the future of, yeah, I'm going to ride by my blah, blah, blah. It could be your man, your girl, could be your relative, it could be your kids, even your kids too. They can future fake you, right? Anybody can future fake you, right? And make you think of, wow, yeah, only if I stick by their side because they're going to be doing this. You take their word as bond. So what he's doing right now, he's future faking them, right? And you're now they're all going, look who's leading. You are. So to them, that's a great honor. They are honored, right? They are honored. So that's what I just wanted to throw that in there too. All right. Because we always hear like gaslighting. No, we got to hear its other terms too. But future faking is just like it kind of go with the Prince Charming. Because you hear a lot of future faking when they're in their Prince Charming's shades, right? You hear a lot of faking, a lot of lies and a lot of faking. That's in the beginning of relationships, a lot of lies and a lot of faking. Let's go.
But if Chicago's reputation is as bad as it has been presented to me, I can understand why Giuliano does not want to let Carbonation go because he may feel like he has nothing to go back to. Maybe he feels as if his current position is something that is actually honorable in comparison to what he may have been doing or what could potentially be waiting for him in Chicago. And those are the two reasons why I feel like Giuliano is so emotionally invested in Carbonation to this day. As it pertains to Porsche, Porsche recently, according to what she said on the stand, she recently lost her mother.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that that has an effect on her.
Mm-hmm.
I think that within Porsche is a lot of guilt and shame for abandoning her son, and she may feel as if he won't even know who she is,
Oh,
or that he will be so upset with her
they gonna know.
that he won't want anything to do with her, and that's something that she would rather not face.
Mm.
And in addition to that, Porsche has been on the receiving end of a lot of physical abuse, a lot of verbal abuse, as well as branding. Um, a tattoo is something that you get by choice, or culturally, it's used as some form of a identifying marker or a rite of passage. But in the case of Carbonation, Aya, Efuru, Malia did not choose to get those tattoos on their face, nor did they choose to get Eligio Bishop's name on their behind. So when you get a mark on your body, just like a cow or a goat, against your will, then that is not a tattoo. That is
Ah.
a brand. And so to be branded with somebody's name on your body, just like Keith Raniere did in Nexium,
That was a brand,
That
a burn brand, baby.
sends a reminder to that person every time they look at themselves in the mirror that they are owned by that person. And in addition to that, I feel like Portia, Efaru, and Malia have similar reasons for staying. So these reasons would apply to all of them, not just Portia. In addition to abandoning their children and being branded on their face and on their behind with identifying markers attached to Eligio Bishop, all three of them have been sexually exploited and put on display in a way that the average woman would not want to be displayed on the internet for the world to see. In addition to that, they have been so removed from the daily functions of the world or society that they are afraid of the quote unquote 9 to 5 grind. They don't know how to really manage finances. They don't understand how to get an income. So they have been heavily dependent
Mm-hmm.
upon someone else
Yep.
making these decisions for them.
Mm-hmm.
And to
Correct.
have to take on these responsibilities in an instant that you have been shielded from for years is terrifying. And we also know that the world is changing at a very rapid pace. So the world that was present when they joined carbonation is no longer the world that we live in today. And so there's aspects about quote unquote regular life that they are out of touch with, doing taxes and keeping up with your credit score and paying bills and making a budget. These things are skills and abilities that they haven't practiced in quite some time. And so these are the reasons, not all inclusive, of course, but these are some of the primary reasons I believe keeps Jax, Juju, Aya, Efru, Malia, and also Jayon as well. Um, of course, Aya, Portia, Malia, and Efru all have unique experiences, but I feel like those experiences tie them together. Um, as we know, Kayla had one miscarriage and then she was forced to get an abortion
Mm-hmm.
by Eligio Bishop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we also know that Jayon did not
Mm.
have a successful delivery
Oh,
either.
please! I can't take it. I can't take it.
So there's a lot of unresolved guilt, shame, and trauma. The miscarriage was induced. Eligio Bishop did not see or find it appropriate for her to be having a baby with Ishmael or Caliber because he was considered inferior. And so, why would she want to have a baby by such an inferior person? And so, her miscarriage was induced. Excuse me, the abortion was induced, the miscarriage was not induced.
You don't know about the miscarriage though. Y'all gotta remember. What's up, Miss Hooks? Y'all have to remember. these are for the things that they do know. A lot of times they were not there for some things. Hey, Miss Doubles. Ooh, we don't know, right? Because Nature Boy sat there on Bigo and said that he had her got rid of the two babies, right? And that still ties back into Zoka, and it's a shame. It's a shame that baby made it to full term. Like I said, we would never know the whole story because only Jason, or Jayon and Nature Boy knows the truth. I don't think nobody knows the true story but them two, right? I don't think none of them know the real story but Jason and Nature Nut. Them the only two who know the story. I believe a lot of people were there. A lot of people were there. Yes, but far as at any point in time, we don't know. So we ask them the questions. A lot of things they don't know, right? Because even Tron, even Tron said at certain times they all of them were not together. So a lot of times when the men were in their sector and the woman was in their sector with him, they don't know everything. Just like the women don't know everything that was going. So certain things they have, even though they all there, but just like me and my son, same house. Certain things I can't tell you. He in his room, I'm in mine's, right? Which you got to give it that, right? Yeah, these parts are not funny. Exactly. Neither are the parts with the children. Yes, exactly, exactly. So that's still that's why I said this one. It's a shame that that baby went to 9 months and the way that went down. But like I said, the only two people who knows that story, the full story, would be them two. I don't think nobody else knows. But it is. I'm still mad about that. Because he didn't even have the common courtesy to let them even bury their baby. Just had it like left there and everything go back to same and normal, right? And that's another thing too that they have to keep in. Like they want to say no, this ish ain't normal, right? But they gotta act like it's normal because it's for humanity. And the way that was a lot of things was put out on the video for the world to see. But we'll carry on. We shall carry on. We should carry on. But some of them have their own deals that we don't know. If you see Jones in your. Oh, okay. All right. No problem. Right. A lot of things. I think Nature Boy, this is just my opinion and my observation. He has like secret deals with some of them, right? So some of them, only them and Nature Boy would know. Nobody else would know, right? So certain and the things that only they know and Nature Boy know, we'll never know. Because it's that horrific that they can't even tell nobody. They can't even tell nobody. Oh, right? Is that horrific? They can't tell nobody, right? So whatever, like certain things, only him and Pisces will know. Only him and this one will know. Like him with that baby, only him. I believe. I don't know, but I believe what exactly went down and what she ingest. Because see, they got to understand they're in the hospital, right? Regardless of what that it has records. Puerto Rico was not far. It ain't like we can't get somebody to go in there and investigate, right? That's not really hard to do, right? It's not hard. It may take a while to get all the information, but it can be done. And we got to go by, we go by what it has been said. But I just, baby love got her justice though. Baby love got her justice. She got her justice. Mama Dia, like I said, what really happened with Mama Dia, they don't even know neither. That between her and Nature Boy. Nature Boy know what happened to Mama Dia. Maybe they all was in their own tents. Maybe they was all someplace else, but they don't know. Nature Boy made sure he did certain things one on one with people, right? That was so horrific. You ain't even gonna repeat it. But yes, he knows. Nature Boy knows everything that happens when it comes down to certain things. Because certain things, right? He up there with them girls in the main house. He don't know what the guys are. He don't know what the guys are doing either, right? Even though they're reporting to him to everything, but they didn't report when they was getting that food on the side when they was going shopping. They wasn't reporting that. They wasn't reporting them extra meals because they was hungry. Dag it. Mm-hmm. 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 And mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. To see, we gotta keep this education and information going. Yes, rest in power. Rest in power. We got it. So if he's speaking information, I have to show it. Right? He's speaking information. Hopefully somebody will hear this information and listen. Right? So we gotta keep it coming. I don't like to stop the video, but you have to stop it and say something. Right. And it's crazy. These things I've been saying 6 years ago. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. 6 years ago. Yeah, yeah, yes.
But that can be argued because of the environment in which she was in. We could say that the miscarriage was induced. Coco, if she was, I was not aware of it. And like I said, there's a lot of pieces to carbonation. And the whole story hasn't been told because there's still current members who have not came to the realization of what it is they're doing. And so they are continuing to hide things that would compromise Mr. Bishop's image any more than it already has been. I would imagine so, Lynette. I would imagine so because I want people to know that Jackson and Juju are really great guys, and that they are forcing themselves to do the things that they're doing to keep the carbonation narrative going. Same thing with Aya. Aya's nice. Aya, Efru, Malia, and Jayon are some of the sweetest people I've ever met. Hey, what's going on, Kay?
Not from my knowledge. Nobody heard from Niza.
Well, of course, Coco. When you're in a cult environment, your emotions are suppressed. If you recall, one of the quote unquote teachings was, feelings come from thoughts. And if you're having bad feelings, it's because you're having bad thoughts. So a lot of people's true emotions were suppressed. Hey, what's going on, Gray?
Either way, Maya. Either way, it's not. It
Even to
still
this
ain't
day,
right.
the current cult
Either
members
way. Mm-hmm.
are not allowed to show you their true emotions
Oh, we
because that
see
would
it.
compromise their quote unquote godhood and superior status. Well, Pharaoh, it got to a point where if you weren't a Legio bishop, you were inferior, period. You have to understand there is no logic, and that's why I made a video or an audio recording titled Carbonation Has No Knowledge.
Oh, we're gonna see that later.
Anything to make a Legio bishop superior and better than everyone else became the quote unquote knowledge. Because if you recall, Mr. Bishop has a video on his channel to this day where he's surrounded by Caucasians or lighter pigmented people. And he was saying that there was no white people. Mr. Bishop is such a fraud
I
and a
remember.
phony.
I remember.
And you can see it
It's
with his
all
own
different colors of
videos.
brown. Yes, I remember.
One of his primary teachings
Mm-hmm.
was that there was no white people and that there was no black people, that everybody was different shades
Yep,
of
may I?
brown.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, it becomes black and white, literally.
Yep, I remember.
At one point, he was a major advocate for a concept called neuromelanin, in which your nervous system was also supposed to contain melanin, and that is what determines your level of intelligence and your level of empathy rather than your skin complexion. Mr. Bishop threw that teaching away like it never happened and
Mm-hmm.
began teaching this white
Mm-hmm.
supremacy, black
Mm-hmm.
supremacy, us versus them philosophy,
Mm-hmm. I
as if he had
remember.
never said anything to the contrary. And I will say it again, and I will say it until I can't say it no more. There is no knowledge. There is only an interchangeable series of information that allows Mr. Bishop to justify any and everything at any moment. And it's not a transformation. It's not a transformation. People think that carbonation started out great and then it kind of lost its way. But this was Mr. Bishop's intent from the beginning. Exactly, Coco. It was like plug and play. Oh, today, the black woman is God. Tomorrow, the black man is God. Next week, everybody's God. The week after that, I'm God. This week, there is no black people and white people. Everybody's brown. Next week, oh, black people are superior. The week after that, oh, everybody's on the same plane. One week, I don't need your donations. I manifest money with my mind. Next week, GoFundMe. Week after that, Cash App. The week after that, PayPal. I'm not, everybody that goes to jail, they belong in jail. Even if they didn't do something in this life, they're paying for something they did in a previous life. Oh, really? Until you go to jail. And now it's an injustice. Last week, the government was good. Last week, nothing happens to you that isn't supposed to happen to you. The week before that, the universe is not working against you, it's working for you. But this week, oh no, malicious prosecution. Oh, this week, injustice. No, I don't believe Mr. Bishop studied anything. Just like an abusive relationship, I think that abusive people just display the same characteristics and traits. And I think narcissistic people just so happen to display the same characteristics and traits. I don't think Mr. Bishop sat down and read and studied anything. But if you think about it, Lynette, doesn't every black person use that narrative? Who doesn't? I mean, if we look at the so-called spiritual leaders of today, why do they all preach the same philosophy? I mean, if you talk to any black leader, isn't the white man the problem with according to all of them? They all teach pretty much the same thing. I mean, nothing gets black people more riled up than the idea that white people are doing something to you. That will instantly trigger black people because of what we know about slavery and what we know about racism in America. That will instantly trigger us and get us on board. If you want to stir black people up, make it a race issue instantly. We'll stop everything we're doing. We won't even find out if it's true or not. We'll instantly stop everything we're doing and we'll be right on board. Yep, that's right. Yep. And we'll start remembering all of these instances where white people was doing something to us. We was just fine prior to that. We was living our best life. But not until Yahweh Muwawe Akten Imhotep Habib Anubis III came out and said, white man is the reason why we in this position. The slave ship is really the United States. When you go to the mall and you pick out clothes, you still picking cotton. Nah, KR. I didn't have no thoughts or conversations with anyone because I already knew everybody else would not be someone I could confide in, but rather they would do what they were programmed to do and indoctrinated to do. And that would be to convince me that I was wrong and that I shouldn't leave and that I should stay. And also, in addition to that, anything that I felt like caused me to question or doubt what I was doing, I believed it to be a demon that was dragging me back to hell. And I needed to overcome that thought and I needed to commit more. Whenever you had doubts in the cult, it was not something to be explored and examined, but rather it was an indication that you're committing more and rid yourself of those weaknesses. Of course, Lynette, I heard somebody use the term called pulling on your heartstrings. The current cult members are trying to make this a race issue, trying to rally together as many people as they can because they're desperate for funds and they're desperate for direction. They know they can see the climate. If they get on the internet and they look at what people are saying about Eligio Bishop, they can feel the atmosphere and they can feel that 99% of the people is not on their side. And so because nobody's going to rally on Mr. Bishop's behalf, let's try to rally everybody on behalf of the black man. Let's make this a little bit obscure. Let's not make it about Eligio Bishop because we see that most people hate him. But let's see if we can get him on board in a more generalized way by making this a black man versus white man versus the system issue, because that has been effective in the past, because they already know nobody's coming to support Eligio Bishop. And the so-called supporters they do have, they look like that girl that they was recently on live with, talking about she was a part of the Moorish Institute of whatever. And if they had so many supporters, why would they need a GoFundMe? Why not get the resources directly from your supporters? Because you don't have as many as you would like for us to believe. You wouldn't need to go live because you would have your supporters' numbers. They would be messaging you directly. They would be sending you money directly. But you're trying to have this call to arms disguised as a race issue. But 99% of people know that this is not a race issue. And they see it in the comments, and they see it from the type of response they're getting from the content they're putting out. And I'm up here trying to scroll on my laptop with my finger. No, Pharaoh. Mr. Bishop, just like the judge said, is not a complex issue here. Mr. Bishop is a master manipulator, meaning that he will never take responsibility for his own actions, and he will always try to place the burden of his conscience like it was a touchscreen. Yeah, exactly.
Morning, O'Neill. What
And
is
that's funny,
up?
Meg, that you
Morning,
use that word because I
morning.
literally used that same word in a conversation I had earlier
Somebody
today.
else popped in here.
Damage control.
SMH, what's up?
Carbonation is on its last legs. It's a table with 3 legs. If Malia leaves, what do you say then? Because notice, they didn't discuss or acknowledge the interview that Eligio Bishop's sister did because they don't have a script for that. They don't have a solid explanation for that. And if Malia leaves, you're gonna say she wanted to be queen. You can't use that. So they're hanging on they're hanging on a thread now. And so they're going to continue to preach the current narrative, which is an appeal, an appeal, an appeal. The crazy part about this, the most ironic thing about this, is that Malia, Aya, Ephru, they don't understand how much power they have in this situation. They're projecting their power onto Eligio Bishop. Literally, the only thing they have to do, and if y'all are listening to this, I think that it would bring you great joy to get your power back. I think that it would be great for you guys to get your power back by not answering his phone calls. You know what? You guys are more powerful than you think. The only reason he can talk to y'all is because y'all answer the phone. He can't hurt you no more. If you ever wanted a time to leave, it don't get no safer than this. Eligio Bishop has no more power over you. He can't hurt you physically or verbally. If you ever wanted to walk away, it's now. It don't get no better than this. And you guys have access to everything that keeps him relevant. You guys have access to his email. You got access to his Instagram. You got access to his YouTube. If you guys wanted to, you could delete this mofo. If you guys happen to watch this, I just want to let you know how much power you have. You literally can delete this mofo. All that money that he's getting, you guys can use that to go home. You don't owe him $1, and you don't owe him not one more second of your time. You have given him everything you can give him: your mind, your body, and your soul. And you never have owed him anything, and you definitely don't owe him nothing more than you've already gave. So I just want to throw that out there if y'all listening, or if y'all ever go back and listen to this. You guys are in the position of power. Not him.
Nick says, yeah, all of them need medical help. I mean, everybody living need medical help, right? But I I I just think what Malaya, what I just think that with Tanisha, but it doesn't matter because technically the name don't make you, you make the name, right? But I think something happened with her mother, her and her mom's, that it was never stated, and she's been in a guilt trip since then. Again, that's something we would never know. Hey, Cito, that's something we would never know. That's going to be between her and her mother, right? You have a lot of kids that, they either the moms don't say they sick, or maybe something. I don't know how she ended up passing away, but I'm just giving examples for different people, just in general examples, not her example, but just general examples. Some people, parents, they were on bad terms, right? Or you was just being a teenager, or you were just being a kid, and you didn't know like mommy or daddy was sick, right? And you didn't try to take the time to understand, and then next they're not here anymore. You're left with that. That's why they always tell you never say goodbye, say see you later, make sure you say I love you. That's why even people speak biblically all the time. But what happened to do not go to sleep, do not let the night fall, unless you got to make up with that person before the night fall. Just before you close your eyes, or that guilt lives with you, because you had a chance, right? So I think that's something that it ain't oh she was treated this way or she was treated that way. Sometimes people are not treated. It's like people always want to say somebody was treated this way. Sometimes they was treated just right. Nobody, you ain't gonna get no perfect parent anyway, right? You ain't gonna get no perfect parent. And if you want to know your parent, you gotta know it's really, for some people it's hard to know their parent, because by the time they get their grandparent is not the same person that they was to your parent, right? When they get to the grandkids, they all lovely, The kid's like, oh, now you lovely, right? But if you get to learn grandma's history, you would know what type of parent she was to your parent, and now that now trickles down to you. But you ain't gonna get any perfect parent. Sometimes you're gonna have a regular parent, and just guess what? You're gonna have regular kids too. You're gonna have regular kids. Kids ain't perfect neither, right? But they always say I'm not perfect and love me. But then you gotta love your parent too. If you so quick to say I'm not perfect, I'm different, well, then maybe your mama and papa is different too, and you should love them also. Some of y'all kids ain't good kids. Some of y'all want to do what y'all want to do. Some of y'all put your mama in the predicament where she's at. You put your daddy or grandmother, depending on who's taking care of you, in the predicament where you at. Sometimes you cannot do enough for your kids. So it's a lot of different ting, 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 a lot of different pings that's there, right? But I do know from when she walked in, people were like, oh, the family. I don't think the family treated her bad. I just think that was a bad predicament where she doesn't have any parents. And again, the way I see her face and the way that she feels when they say the word queen is not, it's a different meaning for her to be queen than what it is for other people. Her meaning of being queen is saying, I'm accepted. I'm accepted. Because there's no way you're going to be queen and everybody else talking for you. Velvet, no, Velvet stood up there in front of them women, right? Velvet stood up in front of them. Yaya stood up in front of them women, right? Pope Crystal stood up in front of them. They did the talking. It ain't like that with Malaya. So her queen was never to be. That was a fake title that he gave her because he knew. Remember, as he said, I studied the birth chart, right? So, but even besides the birth chart, he didn't study the birth chart that good. Well, because if you study the birth chart, there's no need for me and you to talk. Just read the birth chart. You have to talk to people, right? Birth chart is what you have to talk to people. So when you talk to people, you get to know in their business. That's not in the birth chart, right? Yes, that's what I always say. But it's a reason for that, right? And anytime somebody pop you and you go, oh, good one, you know there's some deep stuff. But this really, like, he's almost finished, right? Great video full of good information, full of good information, right? Long, like I said, that we about the education and the information, education and information. I try not to stop it too much, but we have to, right? All right.
Him, and you always have been. You know, Ashley, you're entitled to your opinion, just like everyone else. How many people had gave up hope on me? You know how many people were sure, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, that I would never leave? Come on, man. Me? Come on. People had completely written me off, counted me out, considered me unreachable. And here I am today. So even though I will never make a absolute statement that, yeah, they're going to leave, because I don't know. But I will say that I have to keep the possibility open because I did it. And if I can do it, then anybody can do it. Come on, man. You know how many people say that? People always say, I never thought you would have left. Some people are shocked. Some people are absolutely shocked that I left. And because of that, I would have to say that the possibility has to remain open for anybody that's still there. But I believe it's impossible to quantify when they will leave into days, weeks, months, or years. You know, everybody has their own opinion, Kay. And thankfully, we have the First Amendment that allows us to use that good old freedom of speech. Oh, no. That's the thing, Kay. Everybody has to leave on their own. Everybody has to make the decision for themselves. Everybody has to make the decision for themselves. And I don't know if everybody feels the same way as me or anybody else feels the same way I do, but I am very eager to see those women free and to hear Eligio Bishop cry and still not take no responsibility. He'll die and won't take responsibility.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that is true, Coco. That is true. At least they are not getting physically abused.
Uh,
So
uh,
that's a good thing. And there
uh.
is space
No,
in
they got
distance
Malaya.
from his influence in comparison to what it was prior to him get arrested. That is definitely something to hang on to, Coco. Appreciate
Mm-mm.
that.
No, no, no. They done got Malaya, baby. She ain't
Well,
walking to no
actually,
wall.
not necessarily, because
Thank you.
if you look at Warren Jeffs, the former leader, well, actually, he's still the current leader of FLDS. He's his appeal was denied, and he still has followers.
Yep. A follower gonna be a follower.
So even if the appeal is not going to go through, when the appeal doesn't go through, that does not mean that they won't continue to visit him, go live,
Why is this
upload
wet?
on his YouTube channel, and do whatever other thing they need to do to maintain his innocence. If when the appeal doesn't work, they might try to go to the
I'm trying to find the
NCAACP.
thing.
They might try to go to to the United Nations.
They could try. Ain't nobody paying him no mind when he told on himself.
They might try to go to NATO. We going to NATO. You think that the appeal
I want to get this
is the
open. I
last
don't.
straw? That's a very good example. Truth. Malachi Z. York would never see the outside of a prison. Meg, oh, not really. Not really. And the way I deal with it is that Eligio Bishop doesn't own anything. Carbonation doesn't own anything. That's why I continue to wear all black. Because Carbonation doesn't own black. I wear all black for a very specific reason, and it works for me. And I'm not going to give that up because people might think, oh, he's still wearing all black. He's still in the cult. I don't care. So even if certain
Miss
things
Rod, what you doing up?
may have a connection to carbonation, if I want to do it, I'm going to do it anyway. So the way I deal with it is realizing that carbonation doesn't own anything. Allegio Bishop doesn't own anything. I can do whatever I want to do. I could have still kept believing in astrology if I wanted to. I could have stayed in Mexico. I could still go to Puerto Rico if I want to. Allegio Bishop doesn't dictate my life. Carbonation doesn't dictate my life. I do what I want to do. Of course, within the law. Yeah, Kiki, definitely. They, there's pride involved. For the last 4 or 5 years, they've been saying one thing, and to, what we would refer to as renege on all of that. To them, they couldn't bear the backlash they couldn't bear the backlash from the same people that they told were idiots and wrong. They can't face that right now. So they have to keep maintaining this idea that, oh, no, no, we're still right. And you guys are still wrong. Oh, appreciate that, Pharaoh. And good. Um, I've watched that video multiple times, which I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is something else I wanted to discuss and that I had in my notes. On YouTube, Netflix has a episode called Cults. If you go on YouTube, you type in Netflix Cults, it'll pop right up. And for whatever reason, if that doesn't work for you, I have it on my IG page and I have it highlighted so that the story doesn't go away after 24 hours. If you go to my Instagram, you click on the Netflix logo that's highlighted, the link will take you directly to a 30-minute video done by Netflix, very well done, that will give you a introduction into cult indoctrination, why people join, why they stay, what types of things they go through, how they leave, the history of cults, different cult leaders, their tactics, a lot of good information. Yeah, I've watched it at least 50 times and I continue to watch it. Well, the reason I wear all black is because I consider myself to be a minimalist, and black is a color that is easy to match. It doesn't stain easily, and it is a neutral color. I wouldn't walk around in all lime green, and it just makes my life easier when I don't have to think about what I'm going to wear. Kind of like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg. I look at Steve Jobs and he literally wore the same thing every day. Black turtleneck, blue jeans, white shoes, white tennis shoes every day. And after practicing a minimalist wardrobe for so long, it frees up so much time for me to think about something else that's important. Um, I also got this concept from a guy named Ramit Sethi, and he talks about building your rich life. And your rich life is when you cut back on the things that you don't care about and you invest all of your time and energy into the things that you love. And one thing I don't care about is clothes. I do not care about clothes. I don't care about fashion. I don't care about name brands. And so, because I've diverted all of that focus away from those things, I can focus on things that really matter to me. And it's not foreign for somebody to wear all black. There's a number of celebrities who are known for wearing all black all the time. Lisa Ray wears all white, and she has a reason for doing so. Yeah, I'm not gonna let carbonation take away my minimalist wardrobe. Yeah, and I don't let carbonation take away the Bible either. I almost threw the Bible away, but I personally believe that everybody should develop their own relationship with God and not let somebody else's interpretation become yours. Yeah, I don't care if people think black is evil or whatever spiritual context they want to use it in. I don't care. Black works for me. It's easy to match. It doesn't stain easily. It's easy to wash, and it's one less thing to think about. It's a neutral color. It's accepted in all spaces, in all situations. It has nothing to do with the Black Panthers. It has nothing to do with being gothic. I just merged what I seen from Steve Jobs and Zuckerberg and the minimalists and what I learned from what it means to have a rich life. Exactly. It's just clothes. And also, when I was in the military, I wore the same thing every day. We pretty much wore the same thing every day. We had uniforms. And to me, it's such a waste of time figuring out what I'm gonna wear. Oh, what's the occasion? I'm going shopping. I need a new pair. No, I don't care nothing about that. When it's cold, I wear a black hoodie and black sweatpants. When it's not cold, I just wear black shirt and shorts. I don't know who the actual originator of that concept was, but it still stands today and it works for me. I don't I don't uh have the desire to push my belief systems onto anybody. I just share my belief systems. If you agree, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. But not having to worry about clothes has freed up so much space in my life that I could never go back. If what I wear is inappropriate for your event, I just won't come. I don't feel compelled to change up anymore to fit into what your specific preferences are. So if what I wear is not appropriate for your event, then I just won't attend. And that's fine, Kay. I've learned to stay out of people's business. I only concern myself with what I feel like to be within my field of responsibility. If you have 300 shoes, I don't care. Me personally, I simplified my life down to three things: handle business, have fun, and harm no one. As long as you're not harming anyone, you can have a closet full of shoes. I don't care. Outfits. I don't care. You can have 8 cars. I don't care. You can spend all of your money on makeup and weave. I don't care. To me, to be that involved in somebody else's affairs shows that you have none of your own. And that's just my stance on it. So I completed the point of this video, which was to examine the emotional equity and the emotional investments that keep the current cult members there. So now, if anybody has any additional questions, comments, or concerns, this would be a great time to do so because I am getting ready to end this live stream. I'm so glad you guys attended because interaction and feedback really makes this worth doing. So we'll open the floor if anybody has any questions, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up because it's getting late on the East Coast, and I know we all have other responsibilities to attend to, and we have to get our rest to prepare for the next day. Thank you, Coco. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, KR. No, thank you guys for your time, for actually coming over here. Hey, babe, what's going on? I will call you shortly after this. Hey, appreciate that, Truth. Thanks. No, I appreciate your time, Lynette, for you guys even coming over here and staying over here and engaging with me this whole time is very important. Yeah, that's my goal, Ashley, because I can't sit back and let the current cult members continue to basically target unsuspecting people because just because Eligio Bishop is incarcerated, it does not mean that he is not still influencing the current cult members to influence and recruit other people. Appreciate that, Kenzie. Thank you so much. And Rizza, I remember that too. And I think that, which makes no sense, but I believe that Giuliano looks at Eligio Bishop as some type of father figure. But we'll be here, Coco. We'll be here to examine, um, you know, their activity because I made a statement that they would attempt to file an appeal once he was convicted, and they sure are. But this is going to be a long process for them because an appeal is not a expedited event. Exactly, Rizza. It makes no sense. How is Giuliano a reincarnation of your dad? According to you, Eligio Bishop, you never knew your dad. According to you, your father died when you was 1. So what are you using as a reference point to determine that Giuliano is a reincarnation of your father? He looks nothing like your father. Giuliano is actually the opposite physically. Your dad appears to be tall, Giuliano's short. Your dad appears to be darker pigmented, Giuliano's light. What are you basing it on that Giuliano is the reincarnation of your father? You're just saying stuff just to be saying it. Yeah, only time will tell, Kay. Exactly, Coco. Anything to make them feel obligated to obey and follow him. Anything. I'm sure he's eager to get on the phone to tell them the next order of events
Hey,
and order of
Booski.
operations.
Don't worry, we going off and coming back on. We almost finished, Booski.
Oh, yeah, he tried to base it off Puerto Rico. Right. Yes. If you're only using that as qualifications, then There's thousands of people who could be a reincarnation of your dad. Oh, yeah, of course, KR. Of course. Anything to keep them there. If it's a thunderstorm, they'll say that the universe is crying because the Messiah was falsely imprisoned. It doesn't matter. When you're in a cult, you can use anything as an indication of anything. Oh, it's 85 degrees today. 8 plus 5 is 13. You can do whatever you want. At, you don't need any objective reasoning. It's 2024. 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8. My life path number is 8. This is my year. I'm getting out, y'all. He can tell them anything.
All right, guys, that was the morning show. We might do an afternoon, but we're gonna get down this evening. We're gonna get down this evening. Yes, we are. Yes, we is. I may do something with the ligament because I'm up now, right? I'm up now. I might take a little nap. I don't know. I might take me a nap. Yes, darling. Take me a little nappy nap, a little morning nap. Well, we'll be back. This is your morning coffee. The coffee run. I don't think I name it that coffee run.
I'm so high.